Welcome back to Hidden Power. Today we're going to be reviewing some leaks and rumors. We're going to be discussing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet post Pokemon Home. And we're also going to be talking about the new controversies that have been widespread across Asia. My name is Dusty Go-Goat. I'm back from Europe. Lumio's Post is here.
Hello.
And Soul Silver Art is still in Italy.
He is, but the good news is that with us today, we have Bulbasaur, and he's probably going to talk as much as Soul does in a normal episode. So,
who's doing Bulbasaur's voice? Your wife?
We hired the original actor.
Okay.
He's going to be here.
Well, Lumi, let's start with this. How about you tell us what Riddler Koo has been saying on Twitter? We've got some new information about new Pokemon that could be in the DLC.
Yeah, so as we know, on February 27th, right? That's Pokemon Day, yeah.
Yes.
We got the not only reveal, but the debut, they're in the game, Iron Leaves and Walking Wake Paradoxes of Suicune and Virizion. Now, this was like a whole thing because we had the image from the book that teased these Pokemon seemed to actually suggest that like they were going to be hybrids, right? Like a hybrid of Suicune, Entei, and Raikou, and a hybrid of Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion. That didn't end up happening, but Riddler Koo has said PS, PV, which is, for context, that is how he has throughout the leak season referred to Paradox Suicune and Paradox Virizion as PS and PV, and then he says, what's the next? Which, to me, seems to, the obvious thing here is that he's hinting at paradoxes for Raikou, Entei, and then Terrakion and Cobalion.
Man.
So that's exciting. Dinosaur,
that could be really exciting.
Entei, and Raikou.
If I had to push back a little bit, the first time I saw this tweet, I with that context, I was also thinking, what if he's misdirecting and this is actually just Pokemon Scarlet PS and Pokemon Violet PV? What's next? Like, what's the next Pokemon game we're gonna get? That's honestly what I thought he meant, and then I logged off for the weekend. So you do think there are gonna be new Pokemon?
100%. Yeah,
that is exciting.
Something to think about too. This is kind of backed up in something we said we were going to talk about today is Pokemon Home, and this is kind of supported by Pokemon Home because Pokemon Home has dex entries for the Pokemon, but for Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, it says that they're still gathering information on them. Which the fact that they won't give us any information on these Pokemon makes me think that they are reserving this. Like even the official site for these Pokemon,
but that's just the base Pokemon though. That's just the base Pokemon.
What do you mean?
Like you're talking about the two Pokemon that we could already have in Scarlet and Violet, Walking Wake, right? And Iron Leaves. If we have them and they're not just giving us info, I think you're right. There's going to be like a big story in the DLC.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that suggests that, we will get new ones.
Not necessarily, no, but I'm just saying that if there's going to be story revolving around Walking Wake and story revolving around Iron Leaves, then it's a little more believable to me that we could see the other two.
Yeah, like they're hiding something. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, and especially too when you factor in that again, the book teased a hybrid of Suicune, Entei, and Raikou.
It really did.
Perhaps it's actually our good friend Birdkeeper Toby. I had spoken about this to him like back in March, April.
Yeah,
we were talking about it, and it was a long time ago. And he said that he said then that he now fully believes that Raikou, Entei, Terrakion, Cobalion will get paradoxes. And I was like, really? Why do you think that? Because I actually kind of thought, nah, they're not doing it. And he made a great point. He said that he imagines, because remember, it was an artist that drew this Pokemon like from their imagination. He said he imagined before that they had gotten like a glimpse of this Pokemon and just kind of imagined what the full appearance of it was. He said, but now I'm starting to think, quoting Toby here, I'm starting to think that they actually saw bits of each one.
Yeah, like they saw the tail.
They were the same creature.
They saw a foot and they saw like the face of Walking Wake. Right, but they didn't see Walking Wake's body, so it assumed that it's going to be like a four-legged,
they may have even seen the face of Walking Wake, but then they saw the tail of
exactly.
Entei Paradox, and then they saw like the body of Paradox of
Oh,
Raikou, and so they assumed it was one Pokemon and drew an amalgamation of them all,
yeah.
not knowing those were three different things.
I think that's so cool. What are the odds that like we get these new, so we get the other 4 Pokemon to complete the Paradox trios? But then what if there's actually like also, because it's Paradox Pokemon, there doesn't need to be an explanation, right? There's something causing the paradox, but they're paradox. They don't need to make sense, right? And
right.
What if,
in a way, what if shouldn't make sense because they're paradoxes?
Yeah, and what if the fact that the guy depicted the Pokemon incorrectly also means that maybe that creature then could be resurrected into existence, right? So we not only get each of the 3 trios as paradox, but we also get like 2 new amalgamations of of these Pokemon, right? So kind of like Iron Valiant, where it's like Gallade and Gardevoir together.
We do normally get like a fusion, like we got the only games that didn't get fusion was X and Y, but like before that, starting with Black and White, you had in Black 2 and White 2 the Kyurem fusion, then in Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, rather, you had the Necrozma, and then you had Calyrex. This would be the first time it's 3 Pokemon fusing into one, but maybe these Pokemon will be able to fuse together.
Dude, I love that. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I feel like, is this true? Ho-Oh and Lugia don't have a 3rd legend, or Celebi the 3rd legend? That's the mythical.
Yeah, it's the mythical. So no, they just don't have a 3rd legend,
and they also don't have other forms. So, anyways, that's a separate conversation. But I thought that was really interesting, and I'm like, you're right. Yeah, yeah. We're bound to get a fusion item of some sort.
The thing with them that I think makes them special is like they themselves are, not only are they a legendary duo, but they're also a 4th member of a trio, right? Like Lugia is kind of associated with the birds.
Yeah, you're right.
And Ho-Oh's associated with the beasts. So
yeah, you are right.
You have to remember this was Pokemon's early days. The first game there wasn't even 2 different legendaries. It was just Mewtwo. So.
Yeah, Johto was supposed to be like the sequel for Red, Blue, and Yellow, so that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Johto was before they designed a 3rd legendary formula.
Do you think we're gonna get a Johto remake? Do you think, like, in your gut, do you think that's actually gonna happen?
I don't know about remake, but a Johto game. Whether that's like
a Johto game before,
whether that's like a legend style game or even like I don't know if I'd consider. I guess some people would, but I wouldn't consider Let's Go a remake because like the story was a little different.
I think it's a remake. Let's Go is like Jurassic World. It's a reboot. Let's Go is a reboot.
But Jurassic World isn't a reboot. Jurassic World's a direct sequel.
Yeah, but like thematically it is a reboot. Like The Force Awakens is a reboot because it's literally like a beat for beat. You get all the same stuff. It adds to the continuity, right? It adds to the story, but like the way the story is presented to us, it's a reboot. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
I feel like Let's Go is the same way.
I guess it's about how you read it. I read it more from a story context, and like in the story, it's after Red and Blue have begun their journeys. You see the
it's like Han Solo
Team
and
Rocket
Leia.
guy from Johto is already in. So to me, it is a sequel, but it is also because this is kind of in a world where Red didn't defeat Team Rocket, and you, the Let's Go character, are going to do that instead. So
that's true. It is a sequel.
Yeah, it's like a sequel of an alternate world.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a little spicy. Cause like there's the remakes, now we have the remasters, or a remake sequel. Well, I don't know what the heck Legends is. And then
technically it's a sequel.
Then you have a reboot. It is.
It's the character going. It's the aged up character going back in time. So while it is a prequel, it's also a sequel.
Oh, that's really cool. It's a sequel.
Yeah.
That changes the way I look at. Oh, that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting because we all want a sequel to Black 2, White 2. So like that's a sequel, but then it's like, oh, that dream's not even dead. It's been happening. Let's Go is the sequel. Legends is a sequel. Interesting. Yep. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I do think we'll get a Johto game, whether that is a BDSP style remake, a Let's Go Johto, a Legends Celebi, or in my opinion, what's more likely is something that we're not even thinking about, and it's like a completely new style game. I proposed on my channel. In fact, I did a video talking about it, and I think they could do because you have to think, what did we like about remakes and what did we not like about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl? It was that it was taking the game and bringing it to modern standards. So like Oris, was the Hoenn games, but we hadn't seen it since Gen 3.
With a modern
But now
experience.
you can find Gen 4, 5, 6 Pokemon in it. The new gimmick, Mega Evolution, is very much incorporated into the story. They've got features that very much tie into the modern age of Pokemon, etc., etc. So what's the modern age of Pokemon now? Open world. So give us a Johto game that's open world. We can go to Johto, Kanto from the get-go. You could do 4 gyms in Kanto, 4 gyms in Johto, then do the league. Whatever.
What I worry about is like what they're actually going to like if they're actually going to want to prioritize that, right? Because now I'm thinking like with how, we've seen the full scale Pokemon game, right? The mainline Pokemon games, they've been kind of lacking, right? They don't feel complete, and I'm like, are they going to want to do that for a? Because if they're going to make a Johto game, it's not going to be just like we're making a Johto game. It's going to be like, this is the new Johto era. This is the year of Johto. Mm-hmm. Like what they did with Sinnoh, right?
Yep.
And that starts as soon as they reveal a new game. So it's going to be like a year and a half, or honestly, maybe even 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
like
if they announce a game in February
27th, 2024,
to all the way to the next game.
next February.
Yeah, or even all the way to the next game that's released, which could be.
In a way, that will be November 2025. But I mean, they also would be, kind of like with Scarlet and Violet. The age of Sinnoh, to me, kind of did die with the announcement of Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, that's
because sure, there was still Sinnoh stuff present, but the Pokemon Company's mind was on, hey, get ready for Paldea.
That is true, yeah. I just feel like...
Rather, it was, hey, get ready for this region. We're not going to tell you it's called Paldea until August.
My favorite thing, and I don't know if this is possible, but I like it because it feels like it would align with Game Freak and Pokemon's priorities, right? It feels like something they would do. It's not just a wish list, but it also sounds really cool. So the thing that I think would be so cool is if we get that actual sequel for the Johto game. If you're enjoying this episode, consider supporting Hidden Power on Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. We have 3 tiers, and the lowest tier starts at just $5 a month. Supporters get access to our secret Discord server and help control the direction of the podcast. This is the same Discord where we're recording the podcast right now. We interact here daily.
This Discord server is actually where we form the ideas for each episode.
If you ask a question, we're going to answer it on the show. Supporters also get priority responses in the comments.
Our love and friendship.
You get that. You get a little bit of that too. Yeah.
Our favoritism. We like you the best.
And if you want something a little bit more tangible, we have merch. What do you guys think about the merch?
The merch is great.
We've got Team Lumi in a beautiful blue, Team Dusty
the best one
in a forest green, and we got Team Soul in a blood red. Buy a T-shirt, show your allegiance, and if
to Team Lumi.
Yeah, to Team Dusty, and if you want something a little bit more subdued, this is another logo that we made originally for the show. We didn't actually end up using this as a logo, but I thought it made a great merch design.
It's literally a beta design. You guys love our beta videos.
I love this so
it's
much.
Retro Hidden Power.
And look, when you turn around, this is literally my favorite shirt. It's literally my favorite shirt. Thank you everyone for watching and subscribing. And now back to the video. So the thing that I think would be so cool is if we get that actual sequel for the Johto games, right? So it's literally a sequel from the Johto games. So it's like maybe let's say 5 years later after the events of Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, whatever. But you could either you could start in Kanto, because I'm curious to see what Kanto looks like at that point, because you're gonna have time skips from there. But if it is a Johto game, it's probably gonna start in Johto, which is fine. It's still a sequel. So then you still have all these changes, right? You still have all these existing characters that have shifted up. Team Rocket's not there, right? What if it's a new version of Team Rocket? What if it's What if it's the beginnings of Rainbow Rocket, right? Like, I feel like a lot of the older Pokemon games, maybe just Johto. I feel like it gets a lot of flack for being not complete or for being kind of too easy, or I don't know. And then I think of how they design Pokemon based on the plushies, and the routes feel very short. That's a fair assumption, right? I feel like with to what you're saying, with an open world Pokemon game, an open world Johto game, what you could do is like make the world feel a lot bigger, like what we saw in Legends Arceus. But I also think I don't think most people want a Let's Go Johto. But what I would be perfectly happy with is a Johto game that reuses certain assets, specifically the models of the Let's Go games, right? If like they use the engine of Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee to make a Johto game.
Yeah, that art style's great.
Yeah, right? That would be really special. I think that'd be really special. I would love that way more than an Ilka made or Heart Gold Soul Silver. But I think that'd be really cool. Obviously, though, I'm like still like I definitely like Let's Go Legends. Like I definitely would want it to be more immersive, open world. And I love the idea. I really do like that idea of dude, the best thing to me about Johto is seeing that Koga moves up to the Elite Four, Lance becomes the champion, Gary goes back to, there's like shifting. There's character arcs in Johto, right? In Kanto even, right? The Lavender Tower becomes a radio tower. That's so cool.
I want to see that though.
I love that. I mean, it's definitely a downgrade.
Staple.
Yes, but it shows it really was a staple, but it shows progression, right?
The bullet train between
dude, that is so cool.
And Saffron.
That is so special. So like they could, if they give us a direct sequel, not only are we seeing progression with more of the Kanto Pokemon, the Kanto characters, but also the Johto characters, and then they could also add on all the other things that we love about, this is the pipe dream, Sevi Islands, right? Make those interesting.
Yeah.
Add that, right? There's like all these little add-on areas that they've created over the years, and I'm like, just include all of those. Include the Safari Zone, right?
Yep.
Why is maybe we see Sun and Moon characters. Mina is there, right? Anyways, that's the pipe dream. I think I'd
love, like on that note, a pipe dream of mine would be to see evil teams in other regions. So, like, why not do Johto with Team Magma and Aqua? Let's do Hoenn with Team Galactic. Or Team even Plasmas and Sinnoh, Team Rockets and Unova.
I think that could get I do like that because we see characters like I'm thinking of Sun and Moon right now, where you see there's like Gen 5 Elite 4 members.
You see everybody. You see Brinsley, you see Red and Blue, obviously, Colress.
So I love that. I think it's very possible, but I think that I think what about like there's just a new version of Team Rocket, right? I think
that'd be good with me too. As long as like
dude,
I don't know,
just
a little bit different.
Ruins.
Yeah.
Dude.
We'll see that in Scarlet and Violet DLC.
I just want all of our listeners to know Soul Silver Art is in Italy, but he's still texting us amazing gems of information that we can't even share with you. I think this is insider knowledge. Are you seeing this, Lumi, right now on your phone?
Oh, has he sent even more?
Dude, this is insane. That Pokemon's getting That Pokemon's getting a new form? A new evolution, he's saying? Oh my god. Dude, I'm really excited for the DLC. I'm not even trolling you. I swear I'm being cryptic, but I'm not even trolling. This is serious. So I think Johto's I feel like they got to do something with Johto. But maybe we can get back on track a little bit. We have a 4chan rumor that surfaced. I feel like I broke this to Twitter. I've seen other people make videos about this already. I have not made a formal video about it. Let us know if you guys actually like us covering rumors, because I used to do a lot of these on my channel. I don't do it much anymore, but we've got, this is called Teal Mask and Indigo Disc. And it's like, all right, this was on June 5th. So Indigo Disc begins you, Nali, Leia, sail off to Blueberry Academy. I'm assuming those are the characters that we've seen in the DLC trailer so far. So you head to the Blueberry Academy and face off again against the top students there. Once you encounter Terapagos in its null form. Oh, that's cool. Null form. That'd be like zero.
So I guess
type.
They're saying that's what the little baby Terapagos is.
Yeah. Do you have a copy of this, Lumi? Are you looking at it?
Is it the one that's on your Twitter?
Yeah.
Then yes, I just pulled it up. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're at. It's null form.
So once you encounter Terapagos and its null form, it leads you back to Area 0. Once there, you face off against a new Paradox Pokemon and restore Terapagos to its true form. Terapagos is a dragon and rock type. and once restored, its ability is broken and is similar to Arceus using Judgment in Legends. Do you remember what that does? I don't even remember what that does.
Yeah. I think they mean Judgment does the type of whatever Arceus's type is, but I think what they're referring to is the Legends plate. When you use the Legends plate in Arceus, Arceus's type and thus Judgment will change to whatever is best suited for the battle. So, like, if Arceus is battling a ghost and dark Pokemon like Spiritomb, well, that only has one weakness, Fairy. So Arceus is going to change automatically without you doing anything into a Fairy type, and Judgment will now become Fairy type.
I didn't even know that. That's so cool. So that actually makes a lot of sense with Terapagos, because when I read this, I'm thinking Dragon Rock type makes sense, right? You got Dragon type, which is like this ethereal, supernatural, ultra powerful.
Oh, and it's reptile.
It's a reptile as well, which I like. And then the rock type is just like crystals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense visually, but does that make thematically? I think we've discussed before the null form, the zero type. That could be very cool, and we see some Pokemon that almost feel like they should have zero type. I think historically, normal type has been the zero type. So
agreed. I mean, that's proven with Arceus, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So I don't know. What do you think about this? Like, if Terapagos became Dragon Rock type, I don't know. Would you be happy with that?
Well, first off, I just want to say I do think that this rumor is a load of baloney. But
it's fun to talk about. That's what we're
absolutely.
discussing.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. I just didn't want anyone thinking I believe this. But Dragon Rock, I'd be fine with it. I'm not a big.
Is that a good competitive type?
I mean, rocks. The thing is, so rock and grass have more weaknesses than any other type. They have 5 weaknesses each. So rock is weak to also a lot of very common types, because like fighting, a lot of Pokemon have access to fighting moves. Ground, a lot of Pokemon have access to that. Water, very common use type.
That would be neutral.
Competitive type.
That would be neutral.
That would be neutral. Yeah. Steel, and then let's see, rock, and then grass, which would also be neutral now.
Okay.
But still has 3 very common weaknesses in those. Then also you have to figure it's now picking up an ice weakness.
Which would be neutral, right? Because of rock.
Does rock resist ice?
I'm not sure.
I know it beats ice, but I don't think it resists ice.
And then it would also be weak to Fairy type.
I have to look it up.
It would be weak to... Terapagos would be weak to ice, Fairy, and Dragon type.
And Dragon. Yeah.
So I mean, that's not great on the surface.
At the end of the day, though, its stats could influence that. Like, for example, we have a Dragon Rock type now in Tyrantrum, and Tyrantrum is not. A lot of the times with typings like this, they're not great in double battles because they're facing 2 opponents. Yeah. So the odds of at least one of those opponents having something that can take you out is just too great.
Yeah.
But like Tyrantrum saw a lot of love in singles. Tyrantrum was great in singles. So stats would affect this. Since it's a turtle, I immediately think like slow and bulky.
Yeah, right.
And to be honest,
it could be
slow and bulky would not work for this.
Yeah, but slow for a legendary,
bad for that typing.
Yeah, I agree. But slow for a legendary would be like 80 to 120 probably.
Maybe that's true. Yeah. I don't think when they open up VGC, if this thing was Dragon Rock, when they open up VGC, I don't think we'd be seeing this thing used in VGC when VGC's opened up to like legendaries. Like when people are using Kyogre and Calyrex, no one's gonna be bringing a Terapagos if it's Dragon Rock, in my opinion. I mean, there'll be someone who surprises me, I'm sure. I mean, Wolfglick won a regionals with a Screamtail, and that was like the most slept on paradox at that point. So,
bro, we love it. It's all about how these Pokemon fit into the meta game, right? Like, I build Pokemon. Oh, by the way, Pokemon is Homa's out. We'll get to that, but like I've got my whole team. I've got all of my Pokemon from going all the way back to Generation 7. All my competitive Pokemon, just drag and drop.
You'll be able to use them in ranked in July.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. But yeah. I'm excited. I think we have to also factor in that this thing is potentially evolving from the baby turtle.
Yeah, okay. So my thought process is still on I think that the baby turtle and Terapagos are going to have a relationship similar to Carbink and Diancie or
Yeah.
Fiona Manaphy, where it's like related but not.
It's related in lore,
like,
but not in the evolution.
Right,
Yeah.
like you're never going to have a Fiona evolve into a Manaphy. You're never going to have a Carbink evolve into a Diancie, but
That's
they are
cute.
very much connected.
That's cute because then you can just like capture the Pokemon and you just have it, and it's not that big of a deal. That actually makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I think I didn't, and I still don't like the baby Pokemon, the baby turtle. It doesn't look like a legendary, but
Sure.
All right, so anyways,
no, it doesn't look like a legendary. I'd believe it if they said it was a mythical. I could believe that.
I just think I have to see.
I mean, but mythical designs
see
have
official
differed
art.
so much. Like mythicals, we've seen official art.
No, we saw. Did we?
Yeah, we got official art of it.
I don't like the official art. Then I thought we only saw the anime art.
No, we have. If you go to the Pokemon website, they've got official art of it.
Yeah, I think
I know you've seen it. I know you've seen it.
It's been like one of my videos. All right,
Yeah.
so
we've covered it here.
Yeah, that's true. Terapagos is a dragon rock type, and once restored, its ability will be broken. Okay. After the story ends, Blueberry Academy ends up being a battle facility similar to the battle tree in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. We were just talking about that, where you can team up and battle against other trainers from Paldea and other regions. This is cool. I think it's tough because like an old Pokemon game will establish an epic feature, and then every game going forward, we want the same thing. And I think Sun and Moon, looking back, it does have a pretty cool system where you can battle a whole lot of older trainers. Not every single one, but a lot.
More than enough.
Yeah, a lot. And they're aged up, and they have different styles. And it's kind of on that same thing what we were discussing about like the Johto game, like where there's a progression of a lot of these characters, especially with Red in Blue.
Yeah.
Would you be pumped?
That's
for
the
a battle
most
tree?
believable thing in this is that Blueberry Academy is totally going to be a battle facility.
Yeah. What kind?
Just
though,
because
is the question.
We didn't get a battle facility in Scarlet and Violet, so that's going to be our battle facility. I would really like it to be like the battle tree where we see trainers from past regions.
Yeah.
I'm not allowing myself to get my hopes up for that, though.
Yeah, I kind of hope there's scientists there, and that's part of the plot, that they're scientists and they are recreating Paradox, they're recreating like, like maybe they could be recreating Paradox or recreating even legendaries, like existing Pokemon, and then we get some sort of, dude, one of my favorite features about Gen 8 was the Dynamax Adventures. I played that so much. It was fun. I could play it with friends. It was casual. I could shiny hunt. It was great. I think something like that could be a lot of fun. And they're going to need some sort of way to introduce existing legends and have people be able to capture existing legends.
Yeah.
So whether or not that's like through a minigame style thing like Dynamax Adventures, or if it's like it could be at the Academy, or it could be somewhere else. It could just be another area in Area Zero. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like whatever we're gonna find out in this DLC, it's gonna be that like the Paradox are projections or are being created through something, whether it's Terapagos or something else. I could see there being like caverns in Area Zero. You know?
I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I think it's Terapagos and Euro or someone's imagination. There's a lot of anime spoilers, so skip a little ahead, if you don't want anime spoilers. But you don't want them? I don't have to talk about them.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So in the anime, the big deal is, obviously Lico's pendant is the Terapagos baby, right? And then Roy has this Pokeball that had a black Rayquaza in it, the shiny Rayquaza.
Epic.
And Roy talked about how he always wanted to be like this hero from this legend that traveled around with powerful Pokemon, met legendary Pokemon and stuff. So a lot of people think that Terapagos used Roy's imagination to bring the Rayquaza to life in the Pokeball. And that's how the Rayquaza came to be. And then some people have taken that a little bit further, because in the most recent episode, as of recording, Brassius says that he says something about how Liko's dad wrote a story about a black Rayquaza, and so some people even think the pendant might have brought that like subconscious memory from Liko, because she probably grew up reading that story because her dad writes these children's books, and so it brought the Rayquaza to life through Roy's Pokeball. So it also makes me wonder if Roy's Pokeball, like the ancient Pokeball, if that'll play a role in DLC, if maybe we'll run into that, or if that's just like an anime spin on what we will see, you know?
We had a similar thing in Legends Arceus where like I forget what it was called, but like the Ruby Ball, the final, it was like yeah, the Origin Ball, I think it's called, where you, that's like a key item that you use to actually capture one of the legendaries. That was such a cool thing, like, because I think a lot of the magic of Legends was the fact that there were like new Pokeballs to craft. That's always so special when there's like new Pokeballs to use. So I think if we got something like that in the DLC, there's precedence, and I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, no, I'd kill for new Pokeballs. That's the best thing. But truthfully, I'd kill just to be able to gather apricorns and give them to someone who will make us the apricorn Pokeballs. Man, I'm telling you, all Pokemon fans, we're suckers for those apricorn balls, man.
They're so good.
They are. They're so good. But I love that, like, people will be like, you know, like, I mean, the fact of the matter is everybody's like, Scarlet and Violet has terrible graphics. If they had been like, you can buy apricorn balls from this store, everyone would be like, but it doesn't matter to me, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think everything runs together. We didn't touch on this because this came out while we were on a little hiatus because you were in Portugal. But something else to talk about that we didn't even plan to talk about this episode is that we kind of have a better release window for the DLC now.
Okay.
We know that the DLC will drop before October 1st.
Okay.
The reason we know this is because VGC is broken into different series, and there was Series A right when, you know, Scarlet and Violet came out, and this allowed for the use of any Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that was a part of the Scarlet and Violet decks, except for the Paradoxes or Legendaries. Then Regulation B now allowed the Paradoxes. Regulation C now allowed the Ruinous Quartet. And then it's been announced that Regulation D comes out starting July 1st, and this will allow any Pokemon that is not a big legend, like, you know, Kyogre, Koraidon, those things, but like from home too. So like I can use my Urshifu now. I can use Sneasler, Ursaluna, Hisuian Samurai, Cantonian Tauros, whatever I want.
I just traded over my shiny Cleavor.
You'll be able to use that.
Wonderful.
But Regulation D runs from July 1st through September. So that means that October 1st will be in Regulation E. Well, that means there has to be a change in the rule set. And the only change that I can possibly think of is that DLC. Now they're allowing DLC mods.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really great. And this is like, you've like deducted that this is true?
Oh, even Joe Merrick said it.
Okay,
great. You know, Joe Merrick is super cautious. You know, he had that thing bookmarked for the longest time, leaks, rumors, you know, his little breakdown. So, you know, even Joe Merrick buys, it's releasing before October 1st.
That's honestly so
probably
great.
In September. You know, no one jumped the gun and think it's dropping in July, but it's probably dropping in September.
Dude, that's gonna be a lot of fun. We do have more of this rumor if you'd like to discuss it.
Yeah. Let's go through it.
Okay, and to add, you know, to kind of better segue, I think, you know, with the DLC, right? We're expecting new Pokemon. I think a lot of us, you know, we're thinking like either Paradox, maybe Convergence, maybe regional evolutions. It could be a lot of different things. It was kind of peculiar that there was only like 4 regional forms in Paldea, right? So it feels like
not even that. I mean, 2, and then 1 had different breeds.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, you know, there's a possibility that could be it. We could get maybe like, you know, 3, 4, 5 regional forms, something like that.
Sure.
Maybe like 2. Maybe like 2 is a safe number. but then also Paradox Pokemon, right? So this rumor states that we're going to get 10 new Paradox Pokemon, 5 for Scarlet, 5 for Violet. That makes sense. And the interesting thing that this rumor suggests, which we also don't think is going to happen, but I think it is interesting, is that each of these 10 new Paradox are reverses or the opposite or the pair of the Paradox Pokemon that we already have. So, for example, number 1, Terror Wing. It's going to be a flying and rock type. Past Paradox Delibird. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very cool. So, obviously, the list is Delibird, Hariyama, Hydreigon, Tyranitar, and then a Gardevoir Gallade for Scarlet, and then a Jigglypuff, Amoonguss, Mischievous, Magneton, Salamence for Violet. Before I get into these, you wanna add anything?
Yeah, well, first off, I'd say they kind of disproved themselves just because Pokemon Vibing on Twitter pointed this out. Good friend of mine, Evan, we've done several battles together. Great guy. He pointed out Jaded Paladin, which is the name for Paradox Gardevoir Gallade, is actually too long for the characters they use for the Pokemon name.
Yeah,
so,
these names are so
cool.
Little
Buster.
Paradox
they
Pokemon
are cool names.
Have the
Some
coolest
of them.
names.
I'm not... Giga Grapple makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's weird. So there's Terra Wing, the flying and rock type Delibird. We've got, and let me know if any of these types stand out to you, or you're like, oh, we haven't seen that type before, or oh, that would be a really interesting type to use. We've got Giga Grapple, the dark and fighting type Hariyama, and I'm imagining these Pokemon with like the signature past Paradox, like the red spikes. What do they have? Like they have claws, they have yellow eyes. So we've got Venom Fangs, kind of a boring name, but it's a dragon and poison type Hydreigon. That's cool. This one's cool. Atomic Drake. I love that.
Atomic Drake's the best name on here.
Yeah. Fire Dark type Tyranitar. Again, it's Godzilla, right? So Atomic makes sense. Atomic Drake is so dope. Jaded Paladin, again, a great name. Does not technically work. That's a Psychic and Steel type Gardevoir Gallade past Paradox. And a lot of these I'm also like, does that even make sense as a past Paradox, right? What is that going to be, like a caveman? Past Paradox Tyranitar would be incredible.
Yeah, it would. Tyranitar was one of my picks that I wanted to be past, just because, like, with the whole Mecha Tyranitar, we kind of have an idea of what Tyranitar could look like in the future. So, like, it was the obvious choice to give it a future form. So I was hoping
also had
take the
Duraludon.
less obvious route. Yeah, Duraludon, yeah.
And it's like, to be honest, for me, like, Iron Spikes or Iron
Thorns.
Iron Thorns isn't even that exciting to me. I feel like it's too mini. I feel like it should be a little bit more ferocious.
It's fine to me, but it's whatever. Unfortunately, Iron Thorns will always suffer because, we kept up with like the leaks, and when the picture of Iron Thorns was leaked, the picture of Roaring Moon was leaked, and it was over. I mean, done. Roaring Moon was like, oh man.
No comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Roaring Moon instead, right, would be a future Paradox. It'd be Iron Meteor, flying and fire type, which is, that's Charizard right there.
Charizard, Moltres, Talonflame, Ho-Oh.
Yeah. We've got Iron Banshee with a normal electric type Jigglypuff. That's kind of.
I feel like that should have been given to Mischievous.
Yeah.
Iron Banshee.
Yeah. I can see that. What is a Banshee?
Okay, so it's like a shrieking ghost. Like,
yeah, okay, I like that.
Like it's like a ghost that specifically, like, just screeches like blood curdling scream. Let's see.
When I'm in the forest and I go camping and
this is gonna be a horror story,
dude. And the trees sway, it sounds like a ghost. It's like. Do you guys like how that sounds?
ASMR forest noises.
I keep forgetting this is like recorded. Iron fungus is poison. Oh yeah, what do you have something to share?
Oh yeah, just looked up a banshee, and it is specifically a female spirit whose wailing warns of an impending death in a house. It's from Irish legend.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
That's horrifying. But that's why it fit better for Mischievous, I feel like.
I agree. I like that.
Don't do Banshee on a non-ghost type.
Iron Fungus is going to be Poison and Ghost type. Again, that's Gengar. These are classic types right here.
Mhm.
That's going to be a Mungus.
That's only Gengar too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is. Yeah. Iron Spirit is Ghost Flying, so that'd be Mischievous.
Mhm.
And then we have Iron Magnets, which is hilarious and stupid. Like, what else could it be? Right? What else is Iron Magnets going to be other than Magneton?
Right.
But that would be, they're saying it would be Steel and Rock type. So maybe it's like, that doesn't even make sense. It's already futuristic. Magneton.
Yeah.
And then it says, and then it says also no megas, no more regionals, and no more convergence, which I don't know. I feel like
no
we need some
megas for
regionals.
sure, no convergence I could see. I think there'll be at least one regional form.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's it may be only one. They might do like Isle of Armor. It only had, you could say 4 because the birds, and that's 3. But in a way, I really only count the birds as like one regional form because like they weren't gonna, give a regional form to Articuno and not Zapdos and Moltres. So
yeah, but. I think this is an interesting rumor because I hadn't heard these type of paradox suggested before. I feel like maybe that's something that we thought about early on, but yeah, I don't like this. I would rather just at this point, give me brand new paradox. I think we're gonna get them. I think what it sounds like is we're gonna get Terrakion, Cobalion, Raikou, and Entei. I think that's gonna happen. So I'm fine with that. Just give me those. That's fine.
So do you think that? Okay, so the paradoxes take one typing from the original Mon, right?
Yeah.
And then they have a new typing. Would Raikou Entei share the dragon typing with Walking Wake, and then Iron Leaves, or the Cobalion Terrakion share the psychic typing with Leaves? So then, because that would mean that it would be Electric Dragon Raikou, Fire Dragon Entei, then Steel Psychic Cobalion.
They're good types.
And Rock Psychic Terrakion.
Yeah, Terrakion's not that great. I feel like that could make sense and keep them all together. But also the Paradox Pokemon didn't strictly abide by any sort of pattern. They kind of just got what they got.
They abided by the pattern of they have one type of the original Pokemon.
Yes, but I mean like all the iron ones weren't all steel or something.
Yeah. This one I would think would be different though because it's a trio with something.
Yes, yeah, and I agree. And I think that is a good suggestion. I think
in a similar way to how
Psychic
Koraidon and Miraidon were dragon.
Yeah, so the fighting type, right, is physical. It's justice. It's martial arts. It's I feel like it's like not human, but like you know what I'm saying? Like it feels very like down to earth. It's less elemental. It's more just like
skill.
It's like skill. So I feel like the opposite of that is brain power, right? So psychic makes sense especially if we're going to be talking about like futuristic Pokemon. You'd think of like AI, right? Think of like robots. So if all of a sudden these like physical fighting forces, superhero, this is Terrakion and Verzion and Cobalion. If they are all of a sudden futuristic robots, they're going to be psychic type. That makes sense. And then for the beasts, dragon type is the ultimate beast, right? That is like the apex.
Well, they're dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, assuming they're going to be dinosaurs.
I would think they are. I think they'll follow that formula of the past ones will be dinosaurs and the future ones will be robots.
Yeah. I think it'd be really janky if they went back and forth and like Cobalion. So like Virizion is future, but like Cobalion is like past, and then Terrakion is like. That. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. Just like make it 1-1.
And I think too, the ideal would be that they would tie into the same story as Walking Wake and Iron Leaf. So for that reason, I would think that they just do past for the beasts, future for the cough. Scarlet stays winning. Cough.
I'd be happy with that, man. I would be happy with that. I think also they could do something else, but the thing that I run into when I'm thinking about this is that it's like, what are you going to pair? What competes with Dragon type, right? Like, what is as cool or as powerful as Dragon type?
Well, I think that's why they went. I think that's why they went Psychic.
Yeah,
because they already went Psychic with Iron Leaves. Because back in the day, Psychic was like the OP type. The only thing that was good against Psychic was Bug, and all the bugs were incredibly weak. And
Bug
then
had no
like
good
with the
types.
exception of Scyther and Pinsir was okay.
Yeah.
Then you had
No, you're absolutely right.
Ghost could beat it, but the
there was
only
no
Ghost was
good
part
Ghost
poison,
moves.
so Psychic can beat it.
Yeah. Also, there was no
and
good.
that's right. There was no good Ghost moves.
In Gen 1, it came down to the moves. There were like no good moves for those types that beat Psychic.
Yeah.
So Psychic was
you just
the best
slapped
type.
Earthquake on everything you could and spammed Earthquake.
Yeah, or Slash, and you used like Focus Sash. I'm sorry, Focus.
Energy.
Yeah, Focus Energy. Yeah, so historically, Psychic and Dragon were the best types. So that, honestly, that makes the most sense, and I kind of like that. Yeah, I think what I really want is some like old school Pokemon to get like new regional forms. I think the last wave of regional forms, especially in Legends, has really made me realize like there's a lot of potential. Like Stantler is all, and not only potential, but I feel like Game Freak is bringing us the heat. Like what was it that we just got as a regional evolution? Like from Gen 1. Yeah, Annihilate is incredible. And they didn't
Dunsparce. We finally got a Dunsparce evolution.
Dude.
I mean, they seriously, they've been picking fan favorites. I mean, like fan favorites for we won an evolution for this thing. Stantler was something I was always seeing. Girafarig, Dunsparce, always seeing it. Primeape, I was seeing it. Even B-Sharp. I had seen a lot of I want B-Sharp to become
crazy.
a king.
You know? And King Gambit. I think, like if I just think of the list for Gen 1, we got Venomoth, Arbok, even Marowak. There's a lot of Pokemon that I'm like, you just give them a third evolution, and it's going to be so much fun.
Is it for me? I want a Seeking evolution so badly.
Seeking? Yeah, that would be cool. It would be like, so Goldeen, Seeking, maybe like...
Sea Emperor.
yeah, or like
Sea Pyre.
Embrosian or something. Anyways.
Sea Monarch.
yeah. Anyways, I think, dude, we need more regional forms. Anyways, all right. So what we want to get into now is Pokemon Home. I have booted up my game and I have transferred some things, but truthfully, I'm still playing Zelda. And so I have not. I complained about Pokemon Home, and I still haven't really touched it much. But what has your experience been? Pokemon Home has been with us now for like a week or so.
Oh man, it's been refreshing. It really, really has. It's given so much life to the game. The only thing that could be better is getting them already available for ranked. That would have been really nice. But that's okay. July's not far away, and we can spend June getting our Pokemon ready for July.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's nice. I've done a lot of on one of my channels I do battles with people, and it's been a lot of fun, and it has shaken things up. Like there was a battle recently. I don't even remember the Pokemon that came out, but it was some Hisuian it was Cleavor.
Yeah.
Cleavor hit the field, and I had my Hisuian Samurott out, and I was like, easy. We're gonna hit Razor Shell. We're sharpness boosted. We're taking this Cleavor out.
No
Cleavor
shot.
outsped, and U-turn, and I'm sitting there like, Cleavor outspeeds, and turns out Cleavor and Samurott are at a speed tie. Cleavor's got like a base 85 speed, so that's fun. That we're now like, there's Pokemon
learning
that
something
I'm
new.
having to learn. It's almost like a new generation in that regard.
Yeah.
And then I've had a ton of fun playing with Ursaluna. Is the top dog right now, top bear, if you will. It is. It's going to take over doubles.
What's its speed?
Its speed is 50, so it's bad, but that makes it super optimal for Trick Room.
Okay.
In fact, one thing people are talking about is Trick Room has never been viable for singles, really. It is now because of Ursaluna. Another thing with Ursaluna,
who sets it up?
Oh yeah. I mean, you just bulky? Have another Pokemon on the team that will set it up, like a Bronzong, a Hatterene, something. But the thing with Ursaluna is it's bulky. It's got great defense. It's got amazing HP. Its special defense isn't shabby. And then it has base 140 attack. And then on top of that, it has the ability Guts. And then on top of that, it can learn Facade and its normal type.
Dude.
So You get Stab Facade that is Guts boosted and you're burned by just holding a Flame Orb. That thing is smacking anything out of here. Then you can Terra it into a normal type. So now it gets an even bigger stab boost from Facade. You know, so I mean, it's seriously, it's horrifying. I've said it.
Oh,
Ursaring's
just as slow. So I ran an Ursaring with that.
A little bit faster, I think.
It says its speed is 55.
Okay, yeah, so it's 5 points faster.
Is it? Oh, okay. Ursaluna's 50.
But it also gets Ursaring also gets Quick Feet. Okay. Ursaluna doesn't get access to
So
that.
I ran an Ursaring with both of those sets in Gen 5, and that was a ton of fun. It's crazy to think that that's actually back, and you're saying it's, like, viable.
Oh, it's not just viable. Like, even Justin Tang is a recent guy who's been dominating in the VGC circuit. He made top 8 at Milwaukee. He won Fort Knox and or maybe it was Fort Worth. I don't know. He's won 2 regionals in one season. This is his first time playing VGC, and even he has said an Ursaluna will win Worlds.
Bro, I can't wait. I'm gonna trade mine over, and I'm gonna crush you with it. Now that you just taught me the set, I'm gonna use it now.
Oh yeah, no, that's the set too. Like, that's not my set. That is everyone is running. Like, you may as well at this point not have anything else on your Ursaluna. You just need Facade. You don't.
So you don't even use high horsepower. You don't even use Earthquake.
What I have on mine is
it's got coverage. It has play rough too. That's pretty good.
No, it's got a lot of coverage. I run on mine
Headlong Rush.
I run on mine Facade. I run Earthquake. I run because I do singles. If you did doubles, you might want to swap that out for Headlong Rush or something. But I run Play Rough, and then I have Protect on mine. That way I can turn 1, I can Protect and just go ahead and get my burn.
Okay.
Because the burn on
you don't want to take
you
don't want to take like 80% and then get burned.
Right. Well, and then also you don't know, they might go for knockoff, and then you lose your Flame Orb.
That's true.
So, but yeah, it's a great mon.
For the first time, I'm like back on Cerebi right now, just like looking at different stats. Because like the thing is, when these Pokemon were introduced in Legends, there was a completely different like gameplay setup, or what do you call it? Battle mechanics, right?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't even it wasn't truly the same like battle system.
Yeah,
it was turn based and more like a board game, where like you could stack your turns.
Yeah,
dude, even weirder. Like the model right here on Cerebi looks really clean. Is weirder any good? It looks like a mixed attacker, but it's slow.
I've heard that it might be a niche mon in doubles. Yeah. I have not played around with it yet in singles, so I cannot attest to it.
Yeah.
It's not its stat spread isn't something that I'm used to, but that doesn't mean it's bad. You just like the anime. One thing I've really learned from doing these battles against people, most of the time, I just battled friends, so I'm battling like the same 4 people, right? But I've battled 10 plus different people at this point, and you really do learn that some strategies you cannot pull off, but that guy can. I mean, it's everybody can do different things.
It's looking like Basculegion has a similar set.
Basculegion's also terrifying.
It doesn't look that powerful. It's got high attack, but what does it have? What's its ability?
The big deal with it is it gets adaptability and Swift Swim.
Same type of attack bonus, yeah.
Adaptability, obviously, higher stab, and Swift Swim gonna be a lot speedier in the rain. And then it gets the move by Egg Move, Last Respects. And what Last Respects does is it's a base 50 power move, but for every Pokemon that's already fainted, it's another 50 power. So if you send Basculegion out last, and you have the rain set up, you're going to have Swift Swim, so you're going to outspeed a lot of things. Yeah. And you're going to have Last Respects that's going to do a base 300 power. On top of that, you have your stab from you being a ghost type. Then you can Terra into a ghost type, so you have an even greater stab on that. You can basically run a Last Respects that has 600 base power.
Oh my god. And have people used that successfully? Because it's kind of
I have not
it's kind of a
battled
gamble.
someone. I have not battled someone who has used a Basilisk Legion. However, I've only done 3 or 4 battles post home at this point. So
It needs Rockhead. It needs to protect itself from recoil.
yeah, and Wave Crash, sure. But if you're not even planning on clicking Wave Crash and you're just gonna go for Last Respects,
That's true. But it's got Wave Crash.
most people are
Head
opting
Smash.
for Swift Swim. That I have like seen people talk about. Most people are
Okay, that makes
opting
sense.
for Swift Swim.
Yeah, because I'm looking at its stats right now, and it's like it just looks slow. But I guess if it's got Swift Swim in a rain team, it's probably pretty nice.
Mhm.
My favorite sets growing up were, and I played singles and I played with hometown friends. I never really that's not even true. I played online too. I played on Showdown. But my favorite sets, I would always try to work out or try to figure out just like a generally bulky Pokemon with a lot of attack. I don't even, what is that? Like a
Snorlax.
Wall Breaker? Yeah. Or
I loved using.
that's how I got
Snorlax.
into Go-Go. That's how I got into I tried to use Swampert quite a bit.
Swampert's good.
Yeah, dude, this is cool to see all these new Pokemon. What about Overquill? I'm looking at Overquill right now.
Overquill's also going to be a big deal because of Swift Swim, and it's
Okay.
dark poison type, so it's only weak to ground.
Did we have access to these stats before?
We did once Scarlet and Violet dropped.
Okay.
Okay. The thing, technically, they had stats and abilities coded in Legends,
But they were different.
but some of them changed. Like Hisuian Samurott still had its hidden ability listed as Shell Armor, but
Okay.
then Scarlet and Violet they introduced the new ability Sharpness, and it turns out Hisuian Samurott's hidden ability is now Sharpness.
Okay. Sneasler. What about Sneasler? It's got Poison Touch.
About a Sneasler,
A lot of
they're
attack.
pretty scary.
It's got a lot of attack and speed. All right, it looks pretty fragile though.
I saw someone. It is fragile, but it's it's your classic glass cannon.
Yeah.
The thing with Sneasler that I've seen that was really scary was someone. So Sneasler has a signature move called Dire Claw, and what Dire Claw does is it has a chance to like paralyze, poison. I think that's it. It might put. I don't think it puts to sleep, but either way. Dire Claw does a status infliction.
That's
Sneasler also gets Poison Touch as a hidden ability. Or not hidden ability, just as an ability.
Okay.
And, Poison Touch makes it where anytime you use a move that does contact, you have a chance to poison. Even if the move doesn't. Like, you can use Brick Break and have a chance to poison. Well, Sneasler, with Dire Claw and Poison Touch, it's counted as 2 different rolls. And what that means is Sneasler can use... the video I watched, Sneasler used Dire Claw on an Arcanine with a Lumberry. And so it paralyzed the Arcanine.
And then,
the
Arcanine heals
ate the
itself.
Lumberry.
And then it does
But
it
then
again.
the Poison Touch activates, so it basically poisoned through a Lumberry.
That's really cool. That's honestly really cool. I don't know how niche that is, but
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds like a
that's
fun
like
set.
super clutch, and you're rolling 2 dice there, so it's
All right.
it's fun.
I got one more question before we get into the controversies.
Yep.
Hisuian Typhlosion. Is that any good? I'm looking at the
I
stats right
haven't-
now. It's slower. It's got a little bit higher special attack, which might be good. But I'm trying to look at its move set right now because Typhlosion has always suffered with
Bad moveset, yeah.
Yeah, bad moveset.
And you're seeing the same thing with Hisuian Typhlosion.
Okay.
It gets a few more ghost moves. I don't even know if Cantonian Typhlosion, or Jotonium rather, got any ghost moves. But
Does it still get the move that it gets where it loses its typing?
Burnout? I actually
Yeah.
don't know if it gets Burnout.
I'm not seeing
sure.
it right now. I don't even know if that's even in Generation 9.
Yeah, it might have been scrapped in this gen. I don't know.
Because that's the set I ran.
But I have not had much luck with it, but I have only tried it once.
Okay.
Oddly enough, it was a Sneasler it was battling and got... I switched in on it because I needed to preserve something, and the Sneasler got it to below half health with the first move and then took me out with the second. So I was like, okay.
Oh, boy.
So it didn't have much of a chance to shine, but it didn't shine.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have all of my new Pokemon now, and I don't need to spend hours recreating teams, so we definitely got to get some battles in. That'd be a lot of fun.
We do. I can't believe you've battled my wife, and you haven't battled me.
Dude, she was a worthy opponent. I think I beat her. Did I beat her? No, she beat me.
Beat you.
Selective memory. Okay. Let's get into the controversy.
Okay, so controversy. Had to drink my mango madness for this.
What's the Snapple fact for today?
Let's see.
You haven't
It
even
was something
told me.
about polar bears. So polar bears can smell a seal from 20 miles away.
Interesting. They sound either a seal is smelly, or the polar bear is just really hungry.
It does seem interesting that they specifically point out they can smell a seal. So can they not
Yeah.
smell a human or a fish or a penguin?
It might be a seal. They probably just like recognize the scent.
Yeah.
We should start having
That
biologists
makes
on.
sense. That makes sense. we just we're here today with Bendy Irwin.
It's not a podcast without misinformation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so Lumi, let us know what's happening. I think you said it was primarily, or there was an event in Korea, but then there are other things that you would like to discuss in some of these other regions. I honestly have no idea what this is. I saw a little bit online, but I did not look into it, and you wanted to see my raw reaction, so let's get into it.
Yeah. I thought it would be best to have a raw conversation. You have no prior research. So I'm gonna read Nash's little thing about what happened, like, to prompt all this, the context. So before we go in, a little bit of background in the Korean VGC format. And just so we're clear, this is actually true of, like, Japan's format, too. Korea, I believe, is a little worse, but this is a problem, and we'll talk about it in Japan as well. Before COVID, we used to have 3 different in real life events that led up to finals in which each gave out CP. CP is what you gain to get into Worlds. You need, like in America, you need 300 CP to qualify for Worlds. Then he goes on to say, this circuit point is exclusive in Korea, as we have an independent circuit as Japan does. So, their circuit doesn't cross over with other ones. It's just in Korea you have to do these. Whereas here, like, Paul Chua is an American player, but he went over to EUIC, the European International Championships, and he won it and was able to get CP from it. Even though he's an American player, he got CP from a European event. It's not like that in Korea. You have to get your points from a Korean event.
Okay.
The last in real life event that was had in Korea was in 2019, and the South Korean VGC community has never seen one since.
Wow.
So, COVID happened, in real life events, halted, even Worlds didn't happen for like 2 years, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, there was only one Gen 8 Worlds. But yeah, so it impacted us all, but the idea is, a lot of places are getting back into the swing of things, and Korea's not. They only gave one online double elimination tour, the Trainers Cup, each year, and that was it. Last year, when Worlds were back, players were curious as to how Pokemon Korea plans to give invites. No explanations were made, and they proceeded with the online tour like normal. After the tour, they suddenly announced that so after this thing is completed, after the players have already participated and won or lost, they announced that the top 4 of this cup will be invited to day 2 at Worlds. This was excluding juniors and seniors. That's the different age divisions. There's juniors, seniors, and masters. So like Dusty, you and I, if we did VGC, we'd be in the masters division. I don't know the exact age rankings, but age brackets rather. But yeah. So this was only eligible for masters. So basically, only masters can get a day 2 invite in Worlds. If you get a certain amount of championship points, you can skip the first day of Worlds. That's why you see like Justin Tang, Wolf Glick, they have already qualified for Worlds. They've been qualified for Worlds for a while now, but they're still participating in events. And the reason why that is because they're trying to earn that day 2 invite to Worlds, as well as you can earn like travel payments. Like they will basically like pay for you to fly to Worlds and stuff like that if you get high enough. But anyways, this year, again, they announced nothing until March. So March of this year, keep in mind, Worlds is in August. So 5 months out from Worlds, they finally announced something. And they announced that there will be a circuit where they will give invites to the Trainer Cups for the top 50 Korean players of each global challenge, which is the monthly tournaments they do. Like I entered the global challenge, my wife entered the global challenge. They're going to pick the top 50 from it and then use that. So basically the big issue here is that Korea, Pokemon Korea, not Korea the country, but Pokemon Korea is not communicating with their players and is doing everything last minute. After this tour is over, they go, okay, the top 4 of you get to go to Worlds Day 2. And it's like, well, I wish I had done that beforehand. Like imagine you compete in something, you think you're just having a good time, and then they tell you, oh, well, you shouldn't have been having fun because that was very important,
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Yeah, that's really interesting. The thing for me is, so I've never been to a tournament. I've never participated in a tournament. But from what I can tell, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes on when it comes to your time, your weekends. All the time training leading up to it. There's a lot of emotional.
You're spending money. If I'm going to the Milwaukee tournament, I don't live in Milwaukee. I'm having to pay for either a flight or gas to go to Milwaukee. And then I'm paying for nights in a hotel. I'm, gonna have to buy food,
for Pokemon,
while I'm
which
there.
is so. I mean, that's
the tournament themselves cost money. They're like $70 dinner.
Yeah, the thing for me is like, and I even have this right where I'm like, well, it's not like a traditional sport, so is it really that valuable? It's just a video game. That's not me putting that on other people. I'm saying like that's
for me.
That's my wrong. No, that's my wrong thinking that like it's not as valuable or whatever. People are, I love Pokemon, right? I spend all my time and money on the game. I just don't compete. But to think to go the extra mile for this kind of play, right? To contribute to the overall franchise and the community and the history of Pokemon, right? And to just not be, I don't know. I mean, I think that sucks. That really sucks for the players. From what I can hear, that's really disappointing.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. It's it's really sad. I mean, there's really not much more you can say that. So this is how we get to the specific event that happened. Something went down. So basically, Korea had this some kind of circuit where these people were going to be able to the top 4, are going to get their day 2 Worlds invites or whatever. And so the top 4 trainers are decided. These top 4 trainers, all Korean players, of course, they say, hey, you know what? We've already made our, we've already made it to Worlds because we just have to be in the top 4. It doesn't matter if you're number 1, 2, 3, or 4. We're in the top 4. We've made it to Worlds. So let's the 4 of us plan a protest to how Pokemon Korea is treating their players and how they're not communicating with us. They're constantly, giving us like the short end of the stick and all, they're all this stuff. Well, one of the players sets his team because you have to set your team like before the match. I can't just walk in with any team. You go ahead and set it in online.
Yeah.
One of the players sets in his team and gets an email. Hey, you're disqualified and number 5 is now taking your place.
What?
And he's like, okay, well, why was I disqualified? And they're like, we're not going to tell you that.
So this is after they have decided publicly to protest?
They hadn't decided publicly, only amongst themselves. At least that's the way that I have seen the story presented. Maybe that's wrong, but either way. So
interesting. I mean, and this is obviously this is Pokemon Korea. This is like
yes,
the Pokemon company.
Well,
right?
no. So you have the Pokemon company.
They're organizers. Is that what it is?
Yeah, this is like organizers. This is you have the Pokemon company in Japan, but then you also have Pokemon Europe. You have Pokemon the US. You have Pokemon Korea, and then not only that, but Pokemon Korea is broad. That's going to be covering plush sales, all this stuff that happens in Korea. This is a subsection of that handles events.
So do we know why? Do we know why they ended up pulling the plug? Because that's something that I think I've been seeing online for the past couple months, where Nintendo has been like, this is Nintendo. This is it's related but different. Where Nintendo has been just like, cease and desisting like YouTubers for messing around with their like Zelda games.
Yeah, yeah, the big meme about where they're
Yeah.
like, tag your favorite Zelda creator, and then they go and DMCA all of them.
Yeah. So like, you think this is something like this where they're like trying to, I don't know, like why would they do that? I don't. Is there any evidence for why they would block the person if they don't know about their coup? Their like their what their little like protest that they're trying to do. Like I don't know. How would they know? Why would they do that?
I mean, maybe they did know. Maybe it was obvious that this was happening. I imagine what it was they saw the players' team, and because that's as the story continues, that's kind of what you get into is how they plan to protest, and they probably saw how he was planning to protest. And what this was they basically decided, and for the record, this fifth guy who replaced the dude who was disqualified
isn't gonna protest.
No, they talked to him and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm 100% in." Because another thing they were protesting too is how they weren't giving this opportunity to the juniors and seniors as well. But he was like, "Yeah, I'm all in." What they decided to do as a protest was run only Metronome teams. So
I see the headline right now. How top Korean players ended up disqualified for Metronome. So they were all gonna compete with Metronome.
They were all going to use Metronome. So I imagine what happened is the first guy that got disqualified probably entered his team in. They saw that it was all Metronome and went, "Oh, this is like he's joke. Trying to," because they didn't like that because it's not competitive, right? Like, you're deciding it by basically rolling a dice.
Yeah, you're basically not competing.
Right. Well, but I mean,
and it would make them look bad. That makes total sense then.
Yeah.
If that's why, then that makes total sense. Why? I mean, it's not. I don't agree with it, but I'm saying like, it makes sense why they would then just be like, all right, there's the red flag, cut them.
Yeah. Well, anyways, these people enter their teams, and then they all get an email that hey, top 4's been canceled, and these top 4 players are disqualified. They do not get their Worlds invite. They stated the reason why is. The top 4, are really the top 3, and then the 5th guy who replaced the 4th guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read to you the exact reasons they put. They put 2 reasons. This is quoted from Pokemon Korea as the acts that got these players disqualified. 1, an act of causing harm to other participants or giving an offensive image.
I mean, yeah, I could.
And
that's broad enough to. I get that.
I mean,
it's broad. It's broad.
But then they said for 2, other actions that Nintendo Company Limited and the Pokemon Company and its subsidiaries deem inappropriate.
Yeah. See, this is all just like jargon. It's like doesn't mean anything, but it means exactly what they want it to mean. This is
Pokemon Korea exercising their right to be able to disqualify someone over anything they want.
Yeah, I think what they're not thinking about, and I do not know cultural differences. I do not know if this is even, if the people at Pokemon Korea are like in Korea, or I don't know any of this.
I believe they are, but I guess that would be speculative.
Whatever I'm seeing right now, this is just like, they're not thinking about like how this is obviously going to make them look. And then it's like, are they hiding something? Like, I think that most people, most corporations, whatever you want to say, I think the best practice for most situations is if you screw up, just be like, all right, because of COVID, we have limited resources, whatever. Here's the miscommunication. We'll do better next year, right? And then like, I don't know, like I feel like if a company's not even going to do that, then what are we going to do? Then assume the worst. Or they assume you're, trying to get away with something. Yeah.
Well, it arguably gets worse because about a week later, Pokemon Korea announces, "Hey, those 4 trainers, they are indefinitely banned from participating in any VGC related event." And they said the reason why is because the Pokemon were modded, so they were like hacked mods.
So that's a lie.
Actually, we do know that at least one of the teams, they did indeed mod them in.
How would you know that?
They've released like the rental code for their team, and so you can analyze and you can see this was a Pokemon that was caught in the wild with 6 perfect IVs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, the interesting thing about this is that Pokemon Korea, if they had done that from the beginning, you know what I mean? It would have looked like they had a valid reason. Like if they had said from the beginning, we're disqualifying these players because their mons are hacked, it'd be like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. But instead they go, we're disqualifying them because we're offended. And then a week later they go, wait, no.
This is actually why.
That looks better. You know?
Yeah, so this goes back to the larger conversation, where the truth is that the Pokemon Company actually doesn't care about cheating, right? Or sorry, the Pokemon, what is it? The VGC, right? They actually they turn a blind eye to cheating, to hacking. There's a lot
of hacking
right?
in VGC.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, and you want to hear my opinion? I don't care. Do it. I know you think differently.
Yeah, no, I feel differently, but
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think, to me, it's like, this is what I've discussed with my buddies with Bedford's Best and 99 Pidgey. What it comes down to is, all right, this is what it is. Like, if you spend all your time to create your Pokemon organically, that's great, right? But if you mod or if you gen in your Pokemon, right? If you hack them in, that's like getting a sponsor or like free gear, right? That's the difference to me. I'm like, it's free gear versus having to go out and buy all your gear. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like you're getting it
differently on it because
you're getting an advantage, but it's like you're not breaking the rules. You're still playing the game.
See, but in a way you are, because you're not.
No,
I don't know, but
let's have it. I'll have this discussion. I've talked about this a lot offline.
At the end of the day, I actually don't care if you mod your Pokemon. I don't care if you hack in level 100 Cherish Ball, Shiny, Empoleon. I don't care. The place I draw the line is that there should be like if I have my Shiny 100 Cherish Ball Empoleon that is 100% hacked, and I battle you, I should make sure you were okay with me using a hacked Empoleon in that battle.
What, like an official event or just between you and me?
At an official event as well, but even just between you and me, I think it's about consent, right? Like,
that's fair.
If you were okay with me using a hacked mon,
I'm kind of okay with that. If you and I were like hanging out, like if we're hanging out right together at the house, right, we're just like crushing some Snapple, right, and we're just playing some Pokemon, and we whip out our teams, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna battle now, and then you have all these hacked legendaries, and I'm like, what are you doing? This isn't fun, right?
Yeah.
I get that,
likewise,
but I think
don't wonder trade them. Don't wonder trade them. Do not, because you're corrupting other people's save files. It's great that you want them and you want your hacked mons on your game, but
I don't know.
I don't want hacked mons on my game. So don't wonder trade me your hacked mons. Yeah, keep them on your game.
Yeah, the conversation's like, what is ethical versus what is legal. I think hacking your Pokemon is illegal, but I'm like, I don't think there's really that big of a problem with it. Again, as long as the Pokemon, because I've had homemade like local tournaments in high school, and the first battle I go up against my neighbor, and he's got a Venusaur. Sorry, he's got an Ivysaur, not even a Venusaur. He's got an Ivysaur using Dig, and he also had a Pikachu using Dig, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, Pikachu can learn Dig. I don't know about Ivysaur, but Pikachu can learn
Can
Dig.
it? I don't think it can.
Yeah, Pikachu can learn Dig.
Get it? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, someone fact check him, because I don't think he can.
I'll fact check myself right now.
But the Ivysaur freaked me out though, because then what he told me was like,
what gen?
Like Gen 4 or something, Gen 5. I think it was Gen 4, and he used he said Bulbasaur. He said Bulbasaur used Dig in the anime, so it's legal. And I said
Pikachu does get Dig.
Does it?
Yeah. Bulbasaur, I know for a fact Bulbasaur does not. Maybe Ivysaur does.
No, it does not.
Ivysaur does not.
I know he cheats. I've seen his action replay. I've seen his action replay, and that was annoying because I'm like, okay, well, you're using what is stopping you from giving Mewtwo, that's a bad example because it might know flamethrower, but like you give your Ivysaur flamethrower, right? Like you can give whatever anything, and that's breaking the rules.
Would be so broken if they just have one more move. So,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Now, for the record, in VGC, they'd never allow something like that. It's really just people don't want to take the time to like get something perfect IVDV. Now, for the record, I think in this modern day of Pokemon, it does not take that long to do that. Just do it. But
sure, but I think where it comes down to is like, and maybe I'm wrong because I haven't spent a lot of time since like 2020 maybe actually like creating new Pokemon, but like even just like removing stats, like removing EVs, adding new EVs, right? Getting the negative whatever you need. Like there's all sorts of alterations that I think happens. So like it's not like you just create a team of 6 and then you play them. It's like you have to create your team of 6, right? You have to like theorize what your Pokemon are going to be, create your team of 6, right? Then battle and then adjust and then learn and battle again and then adjust again. And I feel like that would get super annoying. I feel like that is where I'm like, if I'm doing this competitively, you know, like not to call anyone out, but like, you know, if I'm top of the game, right? And I'm running like a really successful YouTube channel, that's what I would do. I'm going to gen. I'm going to like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Obviously, it's illegal, so therefore...
It's illegal in Japan. It's not everywhere, but it is in Japan.
No, it's illegal to gen in everywhere.
Not in America.
Yeah, dude, you can't... No, I'm sorry. Not illegal. I'm sorry. Illegal for VGC. Not illegal.
Yes, for VGC.
Not illegal.
No, like in Japan, it's like actual like arrest.
Yes. But I'm saying
there
like...
was the guy who traded Perfect IV, Shiny, Sword and Shield Sobbles. And he went to jail.
Yeah. So when you were saying Wonder Trade, I didn't even think of that. I just mean like, yeah, that's honestly that's stupid. Arresting that person, that is immoral. That is
here
bad.
You go.
That's the real problem.
So this is this is an article from Eurogamer. So you know official stuff when it comes to this kind of things. Yeah. They said Asahi News via Kotaku reports that an unnamed man was caught selling modified Sobble to another player for 4,400 yen, about 30 euros.
I've purchased...
And subsequently gave a confession. But it goes beyond Sobble. The man, who is currently unemployed, is said to have made 1.1 million yen, about 8,000 euros, selling thousands of modified creatures. It's likely this is what caught the authorities' attention.
See, that's different than making the Pokemon.
Proudly displayed the computer used to modify the Pokemon in question. Quote, "We have confirmed that some users are playing Pokemon Sword and Shield and Pokemon Home using illegally modified data," the company wrote. This is what Pokemon Company issued a statement about it. Quote, "We will regularly monitor and respond to fraudulent and annoying acts so that our users can enjoy themselves with peace of mind. We look forward to your continued support of the Pokemon series," end quote.
Yeah, that's hilarious, but also the reason why he's getting arrested is because he's selling stuff, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. He's like smuggling.
I mean,
what's that called? It's like selling drugs.
Blaine's lives in Japan and he's giving them away for free. He's not going to jail, you know? So
ridiculous. But bro, bottom line, this is ridiculous that people are getting like, dude, ban them from the tournament, ban them for life. Get out of here, dude.
Well, that's the thing.
That's
too,
crazy. Because dude, those are like, if that happened to me, if I'm just like chilling and I don't know, man. If that would be so insulting and like violating, it would feel violent. I'm like, I'm spending money to go out of my way to spend time and money and whatever resources to play Pokemon, and now Pokemon's
I'm protesting because I care, and you spit in my face.
Yeah, dude, that's honestly, and that's where I'm like, is Pokemon in charge of this? Is Pokemon making decisions?
It is not the Pokemon Company making decisions. It is and this is something that was pointed out by Wolf, by Nash, etc., etc. But another thing too is that Nash pointed out that in the past there's been a lot of the times that, like you said, Pokemon has kind of like hacked you know, like I don't see it, you know, but
you can't see it. It's a real Pokemon.
When it has come to the forefront in Pokemon Korea, they have issued at most a series ban. So, you know, we're in series, we're in the Scarlet and Violet VGC series. You're banned for Scarlet and Violet. Come back in Gen 10. They told these players, you were banned for life. So, it's clear your issue was not the hacked Pokemon, because you're not following the protocol from hacked Pokemon. Yeah. Your issue is that someone stood up to you.
Bro, God bless America.
And for the record, in a really
we can protest. That's awesome. That's
in a really peaceful way too that they protested too. Like,
yeah.
They could.
I mean, obviously, I'm not
Twitter
again.
you know?
Yeah, but that actually would have been an effective protest if they were able to get onto the stage and then like they bring up Metronome and then Metronome.
Well, there's no stage. It's all from home. Remember, there's no in-person events.
Oh, so there's no.
So this is the most they could do is just make Metronome mons and send them in. But I mean, that's such.
Would there be video? Would there be video of it though? Like I'm thinking of the
idea.
I'm thinking of the narrators, right? Like when you get I remember seeing Jaywitz like narrating. I'm like,
yeah,
what's he gonna say? Like, oh, and then he's got Metronome. Oh, and then this one's got Metronome, and then
I don't
it's
think
Flame
they do.
Body.
I think they do release like I'm not sure, so don't take me like word for word on this, but I think they release a video, but there's no announcers. They would just like be like, oh, here's the finals match from the Pokemon Trainers Cup. But like the big deal is that they could have given offensive nicknames to their Pokemon. They could have done like the names like Korean VGC. Then the next mon, you need the next mon to change. They didn't. Yeah. Their names were Arboliva. Their names were Gothitelle. Whatever they were, and
Louis,
they just
it sounds like you gotta run a protest. That's clever.
But I mean, they definitely would have been banned. Like they've been banned a lot quicker for that. That lifetime ban would have been announced a week later or earlier.
Well, dude, I mean, yeah, that's pretty awful. Is there any way we can like help support this?
I mean,
what's Twitter saying?
Everybody's just kind of commenting about it. I think that's just the thing is like, if people are watching this, you got a Twitter account, tag like, I don't know, Pokemon Korea, tag the Pokemon Company even, not the American one, that's not going to do anything, but the like Japanese one, because that's head honcho, and just, say like, been hearing about the things going on in Pokemon Korea, we stand with the Korean players, the top 4 finalists, this is really terrible. Really hope something changes. I think that's the idea. It's actually really sad because when this information got to the West, instead of standing in solidarity with the Korean players, the first thing we did was people got mad that Joe Merrick worded the report a certain way, and then people got mad that those people were critiquing on how the report. And so immediately it gets to the West. Immediately attention's away. We're just fighting amongst ourselves. Just sad. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really all you can do is just, tweet about it, draw attention to it, like if it was trending, maybe your Pokemon would see it. Because, I mean, that's probably the idea. Head honcho probably doesn't even know what's going on,
Yeah, I think you're right.
But a similar thing is happening in Japan where like they're having a lack of in real life events. And there was a thing recently where Ray Rizzo that's a 3 times world champion. So huge VGC player, been a VGC player for a long time. He qualified for Worlds, and then it was announced, oh, we're now invalidating that tournament, so you don't qualify for the Worlds. Then he qualified for a tournament that would decide if he could go to day 2 at Worlds, and he went on his game and realized he couldn't enter the tournament because he restarted his game. Now, in the past, they would use your Nintendo account to let you into these tournaments and stuff. So, like, it didn't matter. Dusty, you could restart Scarlet and Violet and go participate in the regionals of Milwaukee. Then restart Scarlet and Violet, go participate in the regionals of Fort Wayne. And it'd all be fine because they're seeing it's the same. It's the, Dusty Go-Go Nintendo account that you're using. But with this guy, it's his save file. And so with his save file, they were using his save file to determine it. So since he restarted, he basically forfeited all that, but that wasn't explained to him. So again, that's the big issue is just lack of communication.
I was going to say communication needs to be fixed immediately.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, it's horrible. It's so bad.
This is awful.
So bad.
Sounds a lot like Pokemon Home. Sounds a lot like all these other issues that we've been running into where people don't want to, or the company doesn't want to communicate with us. I mean, yes, we are entitled fans, but then also it's like we spend a lot of money. It's like this company is massive. Help us out.
You're allowed to be a little entitled. You are allowed to be a little entitled.
I'm a little entitled. I spend a lot of money, a lot of time.
Absolutely. And and I think you should be. I think you should be.
It's because I care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I had a while back someone commented on here and was like, hey, this Lumios guy really seems to hate Pokemon. And like the thing I responded to them, the thing I will tell anybody who says that I sound like I hate Pokemon. I don't hate Pokemon. I love Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I critique Pokemon because I know how good it can be because I saw how good it used to be. And that's not saying it sucks now, because it's still great. It is my favorite thing in the world. It is my retreat. I put too much of my life in it. I probably like an unhealthy amount of my life into Pokemon.
I know.
But
no, it is healthy though. I get what you're saying.
it is healthy. I'm playing around. But
Yeah.
but all that to say, I'm going to buy. I bought Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to buy Gen 10 no matter how it looks.
Yeah.
But I'm also, because I bought it, I feel I have the right to say, hey, Gen 10's a little buggy.
Yeah. And the thing is like we complain because I don't know if we're taking it for granted, but like we're going to buy the game no matter what because there will be so many other things in the game that we're going to love and we know we're going to love and we're going to get enjoyment out of it.
The bugs are a minuscule part of the game.
They are, but they're still frustrating because like
exactly
when you look, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's like there's plenty of things that we let pass because they're not that intrusive, but the bugs are intrusive. The bugs are bothersome and they're like in your face.
Dude, especially when they're deleting your save file or crashing your game.
I know.
That's bad.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, you know, logging on and doing this podcast.
Absolutely.
Dude, I know Soul's not here. I know we thought about
It's sad.
Maybe we'll move the podcast. Soul's not here. But I'm
we
glad
have Bulbasaur.
we do. Yeah, Bulbasaur, and there's a Soul Belai somewhere in the back. There's you can't see it. It's a
Soul Belai.
It's Sobel. Anyways, guys, hit the subscribe button. If you're new, thank you. Welcome to Hidden Power. And if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. It helps out a lot more than you think. We're trying to get that number up, get us ranked in search. Yeah, Lumi, really appreciate it, man. Excited to talk again. We'll record another episode soon with Soul. He's in Italy. A lot of stuff's coming through the pipeline. It's almost league season. Yeah.
Hey, if you made it this far in the episode, hashtag Bulbasaur in the comments.
Yeah, do it. So I think I like a Solzar. Scizor?
Solzar.
Or like Soul Grunk.
Solzarwork.
Just Soul works really well.
Soul just really works with Solkachu.
Soulbat.
Solkavish.
Solnax.
Solcario.
Charizol.
I think it works better if you do it at the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anyways, see you guys. Peace.
Bye.